This is just Kimberly. Here, we honor the pivots of life as moments of learning and transformation. I'm Kimberly, and together we'll explore the practice of cultivating clarity, resilience, and grace with every step forward. This is your invitation to slow down, listen in, and find meaning in the unexpected. Welcome to the Just Kimberly Show. Here, we pivot with grace. Today, I'm honored to bring my dear friend Michelle to the table. Michelle, thank you for coming to the show.
Of course. Thank you.
So happy to have you here today.
I'm excited but nervous.
Oh, that's okay. I was my first time too. So we have very compassionate, wonderful viewers for Just Kimberly. So today we'll take a little bit of a journey together, personally and professionally. And I think bringing us back to when we first met, we met in a leadership series, a year-long leadership series in our home county, and got to see different characters all throughout the county, as well as some really, really rich experiences and really amazing people. So I think it was a blend of experiences that we had. But for me, I know it was eye-opening, but I give thanks for that time and for some meeting some people that I will continue to stay connected with, such as yourself.
Same.
So.
It was amazing. I get to meet people like you.
Yes, so fun that way. So we'll jump into our interview time, our discussion here. And the first one, I think, would be setting the stage. So you've dedicated your entire life to law enforcement. That's one part of you, serving the community in a very, very demanding field in difficult ways. What would you say first drew you to this line of work?
Probably the single unforgettable experience I had was I did a ride-along with a family member who was a police officer, and I was in high school, so 16, 17 years old, and we worked the midnight shift. And it was just an amazing experience. I'd never been in that kind of an environment before. Mm-hmm. I remember going from call to call. It was a busy midnight shift. I remember just the fast driving. The inside of the car was glowing red. It was all new experiences for me. And I'll never forget, we punched in the number of the car in front of us onto the computer, and it came back stolen.
Oh, my goodness.
So it was pretty cool, but 20 years later, it seems kind of like a mundane traffic stop. But when you're 16 years old, I thought it was amazing. And the driver was arrested, and to this day, I can still see what that screwdriver looks like in the steering column. So I think from then on, I just kind of knew that a regular job, it was not going to be for me. Mm-hmm. I wanted something exciting.
And it is, isn't it?
It is.
Beyond the badge, you're also a mother, a wife, a friend, a leader. How do those various roles shape how you show up every day?
I think at this point in my life, they're so intertwined. I can't separate anymore. Mm-hmm. I could have probably earlier in my career, but as a mom, I'm just trying to raise a good human, a good citizen. And then as a leader at the sheriff's office, I try and just lead with the sheriff's office values. So in both regards, I want to be there to celebrate the wins. And when they need something, I want to be there. I want to be the one that they turn to for advice. So I can't even see a difference anymore.
And I see you as a leader in that way. When you were leading in the county cooperative leadership class that we had the opportunity to be around some of your colleagues and some of your peers. And I could see that in the interactions that you had with them, but even how you showed up for our leadership group, in our independent leadership group, and the events from time to time. So it was such a nice sentiment. So let's talk a little bit about journey and pivots, because that's what we do in Pivoting with Grace. On the show, we talk a lot about our pivot points and moments when life calls us to choose a new direction. And that sometimes can be hard. So has there been a time in your career or your personal life, so you can choose career or personal, that you've had to pivot in a way that really took courage? You had to go in there and dig up some of that strength and find courage.
There have been quite a few, but I'll give you a professional example. I had to pivot, and it took a lot of courage. And I'll talk a little bit about it. Not easy, but I was operating at what I thought was a pretty high level as a detective. I was in the detective bureau for a long time. I was mainly focusing on crimes against children and internet crimes against children, and I just got proficient. I got to a level where I was very comfortable, and I knew it was time to promote. I wanted to promote, and thankfully I did. I was given that opportunity, and I then had to go to the patrol division, and I had been a detective for the majority of my career. So to go back to the road, I just felt like a fish out of water. There were times when these men and women would look to me and ask me a question, and it was so humbling to say, I don't know. But I knew what I was doing as a detective, but as a leader on patrol, I had to sometimes tell them, I'm not sure. I'll find you the answer. I'll get back to you. And for me, that took a lot of courage, just admitting I don't know everything. I'm not a subject matter expert here anymore. And I have all the respect in the world for the men and women who do patrol every day. It's hard. So that has kind of taught me that you need to be mindful of where people are at in their career journey. You really never know, because your levels can fluctuate. You could be at a really high level one day and back to square one, ground zero the next. So
that's great. The work segment, in the sense of being a sergeant. A sergeant is a very grueling position, from what I have learned just being in the family of blue. And there's levels of complexity to that. Where have you had to find grace in the unexpected? And I mean, really, this question can go anywhere. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
So I can give you a recent example. I was at a crime scene. That's what I do. I supervise the evidence division, and part of my role is to run a crime scene if we have a major crime or a homicide. So I'm at a crime scene, and I have been working deep in the work. It's well past when I should have probably stopped, taken a break, but I didn't. I just powered through as usual. And I'm staring at a piece of evidence, and I knew that there was more. I knew it in my gut. I'm looking at it, but my brain wasn't working. I was so overly tired, and unexpectedly, I kind of had to be forced to take a break. So I stepped away to do something unrelated for 2 hours. I wasn't exactly happy about it at the time. Okay, fine. I'll have to go do that now. But I got to tell you, that 2-hour break that I kind of gave myself, that was a moment of grace, because I came back. I had some food in my system. I felt like I was able to kind of move my brain a little bit more. And I sat in front of the same piece of evidence on the floor again. It's a theme. And it suddenly was so clear. I found what I was looking for. It made sense. And in that moment, I kind of just laughed at myself a little bit. Like, sometimes you need to give yourself some grace. Sometimes taking a break is what gives you clarity, and you can't rush these processes. I mean, you have to be a part of that crime scene. You have to move within it. And if you try and rush, you're going to trip yourself up. If you try and bulldoze your way through it or power through it, it's just not the tone. And you need to be graceful with yourself. And I transitioned that into being graceful with my team. Sometimes it's hard to tell a supervisor, hey, we need a break. It takes a very strong person to be able to communicate like that. But I have to be graceful with them as well, because not everybody can power through a 20-hour day, nor should they. So I have to be graceful with that.
It's a wonderful example, and it can be applied in so many other avenues within life. But seeing it yourself, taking it for yourself, but then also doing for others, knowing that you're overseeing them, supporting them, guiding them in that way. It's great. So let's talk about your leadership style. How about that? That's fun.
Oh, boy.
Yay. How has your leadership style been influenced? Both by challenges that you faced in law enforcement and then your own story as a mom.
So this really gets to the heart of my leadership journey. After 20 years of law enforcement, I was defining with being like distinct and distant. I had built up some very tall walls because of what I did for a living. And I didn't realize that it can kind of come across as a flat affect or a little bit like this. I don't know how to describe it. And it wasn't until I got some true, honest advice from somebody that I have a lot of respect for. And he kind of just told me, you need to work on that a little bit. Just the vulnerability, bringing the walls down and the intercommunication. And I had to take a hard look at myself and say, yes, this is true. And so I poured 100% into being better, and I want to be a good leader. I've even started doing some journaling, which is very foreign to me. It's something that doesn't come naturally, but it was a tool in the toolbox, and I decided, yes, I'll use it. And I'm trying just so hard to be a good servant leader. There are some days, probably more than I'd like to admit, that I fail, and I fail hard. But I pick myself up every day, and I keep trying, and I come back, and I try again. And a long roundabout answer to that question is that I am still a work in progress. It was great to get some feedback. I've adjusted, and I'm just really trying to move forward.
Humble and kind. Humble and kind. The next segment of this talks a little bit about lessons in service and leadership. And so we've kind of, set the stage, moving through some of these pivots. So jumping into just the deep of it, you've been in rooms where stakes are high, safety, justice, community trust. What have you learned about resilience and decision-making in these moments?
So when it comes to decision-making, I have learned to just trust my gut. At this point, it's not guesswork. It's been 20 years of information coming at me. It's pattern recognition. And I know what to do because I'm just in it for so long. I am so fortunate to work for a sheriff's office that values training, and they very rarely say no. They're giving us the best of the best training that we could ask for. And in times of high stress and when those decisions need to be made, it's like your training just kicks in and you pull that tool out of your toolbox and you just instinctually know what to do. Whether you've seen it in the past or you've been a leader in that situation before, you just start doing. So hopefully that answered the question. The other thing that I really wanted to drive home is that when it comes to decision making, I think that doing the right thing for the right reason will always be easy to defend in the end.
It's powerful and true. Very true.
Work for me.
I've lived by that oath personally and professionally as well.
Have you?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Advocacy. Huge part of your work. Huge part of who you are. How do you balance compassion with a firm responsibility of your role? You just got done talking about how you've learned to soften a little bit, right?
So let's talk about what.
Let's talk about the
when I'm not soft,
the opposite,
which is a lot.
Yeah. Well,
so balance is everything, right? Working in a crime scene and supervising a crime scene, there are some things that you cannot compromise on. You just can't. For example, if we have an outdoor scene and it's 100 degrees, it is not a good day. My team is dreading it. They know that I'm going to make them put on that Tyvek suit because it's the right thing to do. And what they do see, though, is that I'm putting on that same suit and I'm communicating a couple things. One, this is awful, and I know it's awful. And two, I am right there with you. I would never ask my guys to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So I'm not really giving them an out. I'm just in it with them. So I feel like that balance is really important, but at the same time, I do hold a firm line, but I'm right there with them.
Tight boundary. It's nice. What do you wish more people understood about the daily realities of officers and the communities in which you serve?
I think So many of our community members are phenomenal. I think they do know this.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling them anything that they don't know, but we are just moms and dads, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. And there is really just something about us that pushes us forward. We do want to help. We have this fundamental need to help others. I don't think anybody gets into this field for power and authority. It's when you hear these interviews, it's always, I want to help. And that's always been a theme that I've heard. And there's just something inside of us that makes us step into the gap. There really is. I feel it. All the men and women I work with, I see it. I see them doing that. And I just would like to highlight that, in case people are out there wondering, or, why police? It's because we want to help.
I like how you said, step into the gap.
So sometimes people are in a crisis situation and they are running away from it, or they don't know what to do. I see police officers running toward that crisis. We're not running away. There's something inside of us that we're all leaders, and we step up and we help. And that's what I mean by stepping into the gap.
Thank you for clarifying. Thinking back to our time together in that county leadership class that we took, what lessons from that experience stayed with you in your current work?
So we were given the book, The Leadership Challenge.
Yes.
Did you read it?
I did.
I did as well. So my favorite part of that was to challenge the process. And I think it's so cool to see something that's from a textbook happen in real life. And we did challenge that. We put it to the test at the sheriff's office. We had an evidence numbering system that has been in existence forever, since day one. But I noticed that we were having these frequent problems. So I decided to challenge the process, and I'm fortunate enough to work for a department that has leaders that want the process challenged. That's a big component there. And I had a suggestion. I took it to my command staff, and they supported me the entire way.
Outstanding.
They supported just not only the idea, but the risk taking, because I felt that heavy burden, like, oh my God, if this fails, it's a Michelle problem. It's going to be on me. And it wasn't like that at all. So we implemented a new system, and that's hard to do department-wide. There are not only police officers that have to use this system, there's court security officers. There's a lot of moving parts, right? It has to be changed in a computer system. Long story short, it worked out phenomenal. Everybody has been giving me some really good feedback. The problems that we saw no longer exist. So we were able to take something from a book, and it worked out in real life. So that was probably my favorite part of that.
Oh, that's really neat. How long did the process take to make that change to this numbering system?
I got to be honest, it took me some time just to build up the courage to want to change this.
Okay.
Everybody's going to see that memo. Like, Michelle wants to change something. And if it fails, it was going to be a failure. And once I got over that hump, command staff was just like, yep, absolutely. And we were able to run with it, and it really worked out.
Oh, great. That's great. So as we wrap up here today, what chapter of your life feels most alive to you right now?
A couple things. Professionally, I'm really excited about one new chapter. I'll call it unfinished business. When I was assigned to the evidence division, I was tasked with conducting a full audit. And along the way, I discovered just a passion for investigating cold cases and looking through these old files. It was my favorite part of the day. When you hear audit, it's not exactly glamorous. It's not fun. We have thousands of items of evidence. But what was amazing was the best time I had during that whole thing was sitting on the floor with these old files and these old boxes, looking into the past. And I was just amazed at how far we have come as an industry. Like what we did in the 60s is so different from what we do now. I mean, there's been advances in technology, DNA, and it's exciting to want to be a part of that and to try and move the needle on some of these cases. And as I'm diving into them, I just feel a heavy responsibility to them They're mine. I have a lot of ownership to them. They're my files. They're my cases.
Yeah.
And I just truly have embraced that caretaker role of them. I know that they're going to be passed on to someone else, but for right now, I want to take care of them. And my goodness, what a heavy responsibility to be the only set of eyes on a file in 20 or 30 years. I don't have the words, but it's exciting. It's hard. I've never done anything harder, but I'm excited about it.
That's a nice way to close. Anything that we didn't discuss that you want to bring up, or any call to action in the spirit of our LGMC?
A call to action.
For folks.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Right?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's okay. It's been such a pleasure to have you here today. It's been an honor to talk with you and have you on. I can't wait to share this little piece of you and your experiences with the world.
Oh, thank you so much.
Time.
I'm excited for your book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's fun. This is a fun part of my journey as well. So.
It's amazing just to see you transition from what you were doing to all of this, and I'm excited to watch your journey.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We'll see you next time on Just Kimberly.